Let's take a look at Detail 1 Clamp. This has a front view. I'm going to call the front view this right here, right? And a top view, this one up here. Normally, I would say sketch whatever the front view is. On this particular part, we're going to use the top view as the front view in Solidworks. So when we draw it, we're going to use that as the front view. The reason is that it has more to do with the function of the part, and it's got more important features going on in the top view. So you can see when this thing clamps, this is where the actual part to be drilled will fit. This hole right here is where a pin will fit to allow it to swing. So it's 1 inches tall, and it's 0.5 plus 2.24 plus 2 inches to the center of this arc. Now we can assume this arc is a full radius because there's no other information on it. So we'll treat that in SolidWorks as a tangent radius. So I'm going to do an extruded boss base. I'll pick the front plane. I'm going to sketch 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm going to use the tangent arc tool right below center point arc. I'm going to select this point, and then the first point again. If you notice, we've got our tangent symbol. So this, if I'm moving around, this arc will always be tangent with those 2 lines. So now I can go ahead and add in all these dimensions that are highlighted. So we've got 1 inch, we've got 0.5 plus 2.24 plus 2. So I can do a little trick here. I'll go from this line to the center of this arc. I'm just going to punch those numbers in. 0.5 plus 2.24 plus 2. And when I hit enter, SolidWorks is going to figure it out and give me the correct dimension, right? So that dimension was really 4.74. Easy as that. And because this arc is a full radius, it's tangent, it's fully defined. It's 1/2 inch further if you were measuring from right here all the way to over here. The next step, what I'm going to do is go ahead and extrude this and then add the other features in after it's extruded. So I'm going to exit sketch. I'm going to punch in the depth, which is right here, 2.12. And I'm just going to hit green check and I'm good to go. So now I can go in and start adding the 3 other features. The 3 other features, we've got this radius cut right here. We've got this reamed hole, and we've got this radius feature. Okay, so I'll go through. It doesn't matter which one you do first. They'll all be in your feature tree, and they shouldn't depend on each other, so you can move them around. I'll do the easiest one first. I'll do this 1/2 inch reamed hole. Go to Hole Wizard. Just a straight hole. Size, find 1/2 inch. I want to uncheck near side countersink, right? Positions, I want to choose this surface of the part, and this is where I can just hover over this radius. It'll wake up the center, and I'll drop it right there. If you notice, that black dot is fully defined because I woke this arc up and dropped it right on that center point. So that's all I need. I'll go back to type. I'll make sure the end condition is through all, up to next, or up to surface. You don't want it to be blind. Okay, so I'll do through all. Green check. We got that feature handled pretty easy. I'll do the next easiest feature. I'll do this cut over here, right? So what kind of information do we have? We know it's a 0.26 inch radius, and this is why you don't dimension to hidden lines, but the actual distance from the center point of this to this edge is 1/2 inch. It's listed over here. So I'll do an extruded cut. I'll choose this top surface. To make it easier, I'll look at it from the top, and then I'm just going to, in this case, since the drawing specifically lists the distance here, I won't use a center line, although you could if you redimension this drawing, but I'll make it 1.06 away from this edge. So I'm still going to use a center line. What I did here, make sure you don't drop the center line on the middle of the part or it'll be over defined, because I'm going to use Smart Dimension to punch in that 1.06. I'm going to punch in the depth, so 0.5, half an inch, okay. And now I've got almost all the information that I need. I'll sketch around it. So I'll sketch a line on either side of that center line. I'll do a tangent arc again. I can move some things around and see what I'm missing. The easiest thing to do is just select the center of this arc, hit Control, select that point, and merge them. Okay, so the only missing ingredient is the radius, 0.26. And one more thing, and this is easy to forget. If you notice there's no line on this side, it'd be an incomplete section for extruding. So I'm just going to add a line from here to here. It'll turn gray, and I know I have a complete shape, right? So I got all dimensions there. I can exit the sketch. For my extrude cut, I want the end condition to be through all, right? And click OK. We're good to go. So the next feature is a little trickier. I want to identify the dimensions. I know we got 60 degrees. I know I need a construction circle of 1.12. The construction circle, the center of it, is 0.56 inches away from the center line of this part. Okay, so that's going to be a half an inch or a 1.06 from the bottom of the part. A couple other dimensions I have to deal with here. I've got this 2.26 and this 2. Depending on how I do it, I could go from the center of this circle to the center of this circle, or the center of here all the way to this edge, right, and add in that 0.5. So let me go ahead. I'll do extrude cut. I'll select this surface. I'll go to my front view so I can see what I'm doing. The first thing I'll do, I'll add in a circle. I'm going to select the circle and come over here to for construction. I'll make the diameter of the circle 1.12, right? And I want to dimension the location of that circle. The way I'm going to choose to do it, I'm going to get the center of this by waking it up. I'll draw a center line all the way across the part. So I'm going to do a dimension from this center line to here. It'll be 0.56. And I can also do a distance from here to here, make it 2 inches. And that's the position of the part when this thing closes on it, right? That's imitating the part that it mates to. Now the next step is to make this valley for the part to fit into. Remember, the dotted lines, the construction lines, they won't extrude. They're just there for reference. So I'm going to add 2 lines. I'll make a sharp V at the bottom. I'm going to do a smart dimension, 60 degrees. Right? And it's going to be a little funny looking, right? What I want is for these lines to be tangent to this construction circle. So I'll select one line in the construction circle. With Control, I'll make them tangent. And I'll do the other line, construction circle, make it tangent. So now I can still move this around a good bit. So to get this thing straightened up, what I want to do is have a construction line. So I'm going to go from the center of this circle right here, and then make these 2 points, 1, 2, and that construction line symmetric. Now we're all fully defined. So this 60-degree cut would be a little bit too deep. It'd kind of mess up the part. What I want to do, since it's not explicitly stated on the drawing, is round out the bottom of this feature. So in this case, I'm going to use Sketch Fillet. I'll select this line, And since it's not really listed on the drawing, I'll just go to the closest thing that looks right. Let's say 1/2 inch. Click OK, and we're good to go. Except I got to add a line over the top, right? So it's shaded. That means we've got a complete sketch ready to extrude cut, which I will do. I'll exit the sketch, extrude cut. I'll do through all, click yes, and that's all there is to that part. If I wanted to, since we have a material here, I can go ahead into material, right click, edit material, and choose something close to machine steel. So in this case, it really doesn't matter, so I'll do A2 tool steel. Apply, and then close, right? It gives it a neat color, and that's all there is to making that particular part. That's all the features and all the dimensions.